I am sorry. I have to take a moment to look at you because the pictures don't do you justice. And I'm being serious. You are freaking
Do
gorgeous.
I need to be a better self photographer?
Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
It's like, it's so much I like about you, right? Okay, first because the smokers know I have an affinity for redheads. So that's first off. She has a smoking body, but outside of all that, she takes a cosplay serious because I love her cosplay. I'm sorry, the damn Black Widow was fire,
Yeah,
and I really did love the Poison Ivy. I loved it.
thank you.
I'm a
I've done a
huge
couple
Poison Ivy
versions of
fan,
Poison Ivy
and
now.
everything. And I really love your cosplay. Oh my goodness! So and what got you into cosplaying?
Oh, I've been into it like since I was young. I've always been into Halloween and costumes. Halloween's like been fun. Like my mom always made my
Mm-hmm.
Halloween costumes growing up. And so that's how I always treated my Halloween
Mm-hmm.
costumes. I always made them myself. Like once I got to the age where I could make it myself, I took over. So I made my own costumes like in college, and I would throw like
Mm-hmm.
themed parties at my house.
Oh,
So I've always enjoyed like dressing up. I loved like Spirit Week at school. So that's something I've always
yeah.
enjoyed, and I didn't cosplay wasn't like a thing that long ago, and
Mm-hmm.
so I'm like I've always enjoyed I've embraced and loved
Mm-hmm.
Halloween and dressing up. Like I started live streaming like 10 years ago, and even then, like the whole month of October, I decorated and I wore costumes. I did themed shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like from the get go, I was just like, that's just fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it started with like the whole month of October, and then it just kind of bled out from there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And see. Mm. Oh yeah, because I see that people. The other part is she's a. I don't use this word lightly. A professional webcam slash streamer. And what I mean by that is, see, here's the difference. She put thoughts into her shows. She scheduled her shows. She does it the old school way, because I came up in the days of Danny Ash. And people don't know
Okay.
who she is. She is the lady that pretty much started the webcam craze or what have you. And with you have it. You have took the cosplay. You had professional webcamera, and I gotta ask you this: how did you end up becoming like that professional webcam? Because some girls they just go on webcam, they just do it. You come up with themes for that day. You get what I'm saying? It's like you treat it as damn near a TV show.
I mean, the more seriously that you treat it, the more like seriously people will take you. Um, I've always had that
Mm-hmm.
mentality of like whatever you do, do a good job at it. So like before I was in the adult industry, like I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be the best at what I was doing. Um, I wanted to shine in my job. So that's always been kind of a part of my personality.
Mm-hmm.
But making a theme out of it, like I think it started more of just like what mood am I in that day, and it was a little less planned. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but when I started doing like
Mm-hmm.
freemium shows, I was doing shows 4 or 5 days a week, and like I
Mm-hmm.
needed something to mix it up and make every day different. I didn't want every show to feel the same. That's why I quit my
Mm-hmm.
office job. Well, part of it because I didn't want every day to be the
Mm-hmm.
same.
Oh, I
So
feel you.
when I feel in a certain mood, I can dress to match it and act to match it, and I just have fun with that.
Yes, yes, people, and she definitely do. And to show you how good of a webcamer she is, we haven't got to the porn side of things. She's a seven-time award winning. So you just don't win awards because you mailed it in, people. So now, with that being said, it's time to smoke this over. Welcome to the Smokers Lounge. You know who I am, people. Kavanaugh of Southern Champ, aka the Porn Rap Star, the host of this wonderful podcast. And you know where to find all my links with one link, allmylinks.com/porn rap star. Four sponsors to tell you about. The first one is a nice, hot adult mag that you need to know about. I'm talking about none other than eroticismmagazine.com. Also, next up, award-winning, award-nominating, voiceover with smut, and they got virtual reality. I'm talking about blusherotica.com. For you people that love candles, I got you there, the Kinky Candle Company. And if you need legal help, I got you there as well. Mitchell Ferrari, aka the Queen of Law. Links in the description. You can find me 5 days out the week in the mornings at fullswapradio.com. Also at sgradio.com, as well as skyhawkafterdarktv.com. Now, I'm going to sit back and let this gorgeous, beautiful, ginger hair streamer, cosplayer, porn star with the body of an angel, with the face that match and the personality that goes a long way, introduce herself. Tell who you are, baby.
Oh goodness. I feel like I always have a hard time introducing myself because it's evolved through the years, and I'm a content creator,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a live streamer, I'm a cosplayer. That encompasses most of it. I am also now a model coach with ePlay. So I'm a consultant for ePlay, which is my live streaming site, my main live streaming site. I help other models get started on our site, help them do well. So I wear many different hats, but I've been doing this for about 10 years now.
Oh, yes, because I talked about to ladies that there are ways to make money and build a career in this business without being in front of the camera. You know, period. That's some of the things that I actually push that females should always look into, you know, period. Because at some point, you're going to stop being in front of the camera, but you can still make money at this business, even though you're not.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah, there are a lot of pieces to being a content creator, especially nowadays, you know, with fan sites like OnlyFans and Fansly and things like that, where we really do have to be an entrepreneur that wears so many different hats. And if you don't put together a team of people to delegate to, you have to become an expert at so many different things. So there's absolutely an opportunity for people who are good at some of those pieces to sell those skills. You know, people that are good at content managing, people that are good at editing, people that are good at the, you know, sales, marketing, and wording of it. There's so many pieces of it that I have different friends in this industry that shine at different things, and I love picking their brain and figuring out how they're so good at those parts that I don't feel like I'm as good at. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it takes a village to make things. You feel me? So now let's go in the time machine.
You have to be a village. Let's go back to be a content creator.
To what? Yeah. Oh yes, you have to be. So let's go back in time. And what got Miss LeBlanc into webcamming to begin with?
It started with my then fiance. We were both we met in an office job environment. We were both working like normal jobs. He had a sales job. I was working as like a supervisor in a call center. You know, just like very typical, like climbing the corporate ladder type jobs. And we were having a fantastic sexual relationship. It was evolving. We were getting into, you know, different BDSM elements. We were exploring our sexualities with each other. We were having fantastic sex, and then we would watch porn. Granted, a lot of free porn, which is not as good quality as the porn you pay for. But we were watching porn, and we would comment and make fun of it, and, you know, just like toss out things like, oh, if we just recorded what we did, like that'd be so much hotter than what this is. And so it started as kind of a joke of like, you know, we would make really good porn together. But then also evolved with, I'm a bisexual, and I'd hooked up with other girls before, and I shared a lot of stories with him about that. And he was like, well, is that something you still want to explore? Like if you're with me, like, I would be okay if you hooked up with other girls still, or, you know, so we started that conversation, which led us to threesomes, and also led to, so we had our own like personal threesome experiences, which was a lot of fun. And then that led into him sharing kind of what his ultimate fantasy was, which is a harem. You know, one guy and just a group of women, you know? And I was like, as a bisexual, that also sounds fantastic to me. Like to have my man and then just a bunch of other women, like, yeah, that sounded like my fantasy too. Like I'm thinking like, you know, Hugh Hefner in the Playboy Mansion. Like I grew up watching the what was their reality show called? I don't remember. But the like the come on over to our house, the Playboy Bunny show.
Oh yeah, I know you talking about.
The name is escaping me.
yeah. With Hugh Hefner, yeah.
But yeah, like that mentality of having like, you know, a group of girlfriends that you're really good friends with, and then like also are really hot and you hook up with your, I was like, yeah, that sounds fantastic. So those ideas all kind of came together into what if we just did all of that? What if we dated other women together? What if we filmed it? Like, what if we created a whole new genre of porn kind of a thing? we had grand aspirations in the beginning. So that's where it started. In the beginning, we thought that we could just start with having a subscription site, just like, you know, pay girls to film, charge a certain amount. People would like, it was a little bit more old school. And as we did research, you know, like our first 6 months or so, as we did research, we're like, oh, okay, that's not really how people are doing things these days. We discovered webcamming, and that's when like I did the first month solo, and then he joined me, and then we had girlfriends join. And so we kind of started as like My Perfect Harem doing group shows together. So I got my start like camming with my fiance, who's now my husband, and our girlfriends, which was a fantastic time. We did that for like a solid like 5 years before things shifted a little bit more towards solo content. And that was just because of how things evolved.
Let's talk. Now, what I like is you did everything in a succession, as I per se, as I like to say. You first introduced yourself, then you introduced your mate, then y'all introduced girls. You feel what I'm saying? So you was already doing what is being lost now is you're not losing the shock value. You're giving them something new here and there. You're not shooting your load off. Was that planned from jump, or was that just something that happened organically?
It was a little bit of both. I mean, with every show, we always set up something different for the next day. Especially when you have multiple people involved, you're gonna have like a different setup. Like, is it 3 people there? Is it 2 people there? You know, is someone feeling really in the mood? Is someone kind of tired that day? Like, you can tailor it around people's moods of, you know, if someone shows up really horny and they really want a lot of orgasm, we're like, okay, we're going to focus on you today.
So what made you?
It does happen organically, you know, when we're playing in cam shows of like, we'll have that conversation beforehand of like, who wants more attention today? Or how are you feeling today? What are you in the mood for? And then we'll set up the goals for that day. So you're going to end up with a variety of things just because of that.
Oh,
but
sure.
I said over.
Now, what made you? I'm sorry.
You go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Finish.
I was gonna say like over. So that was like, you know, from day to day. But over time, like partners changed. You know, our relationship ebbed and flowed as relationships do. You know, we would date somebody for a while. Some girls came in just like a little bit more part time, that they weren't really like dating us. It was more just for the cam shows, make a little side money. So we had like faces change, you know, over time, which was a lot of fun. You know, people would get favorites and then it's like, oh, sorry, they're no longer here. They were a favorite of mine too, but they've moved on to something else. So there was definitely like a lot of there's always something new to come back for because there were new faces. And yeah, it just like as I've evolved into more solo content, I've just adapted that mindset of keeping it fresh and making it so if you miss a show, you don't feel like, oh, it's just another show. Like if you miss a show, like
Mm-hmm.
you might have missed something special.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because that's the way you want it to be. You want them to feel like, damn it, like, you want them to then go back and binge watch the shit, period, and everything. And now, how did you start incorporating the cosplay into your webcam?
So it started in October. And then I would bleed it into certain holidays and bleed it into, certain like
Mm-hmm.
fandom holidays, like the May the 4th be with you for
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars. So I just started like adding it in for, certain little mini holidays and events throughout the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just develop my own like passion projects of just things that I enjoyed. I have a really big costume collection that I've been curating. I told you, like, since like college. I have stuff in my
Mm-hmm.
costume box that like I got at like the
Mm-hmm.
dollar store in college and I still freaking use because I just don't throw things away. And so I'll find an excuse to pull it out. Like I'll get a request for something silly and I'm like, oh, see, that's why I didn't throw that thing
Mm-hmm.
away. Like I find ways to utilize all of the silly things that I've collected.
Yeah, because see, I'm gonna tell you what touched my heart. See, she just didn't do any type of a Star Wars cosplay. She did a Sith. And I am a fan of the Sith, so there you go. I was like, when I saw that, I said, God, I wish could come out of retirement and work with her. God, that Sith outfit was sexy as fuck, yo. I
Thank
am
you.
sorry.
I always want to do it again and do it better. I always look at them and I'm like, that was like, I feel like I slapped something on real quick for a cam show. I'm like, I in my mind, I want to
Mm-hmm.
do this epic shoot that is, I want a professional makeup artist to
Mm-hmm.
do it. Like, so those are
Mm-hmm.
the treats for me when I get to put together a more
Mm-hmm.
professionally done shoot, something that like I got to pay a photographer for, go get a site for.
Right.
Um, those projects are such treats for me
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't feel slapped together. It doesn't feel quick. It's a lot more planned and premeditated, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm prouder of those results.
Oh, I'm pretty sure because even with me in my days, I used to love doing the role play scenes. Of course, Gonzo as we called it. And playing different characters and being different characters. I never got a chance to do cosplay shit. That's what I fucking hated. I hated that shit, man. It was so many different, superheroes that I wanted to fucking be and shit like that and everything. So
It's fun,
now I'm gonna
right?
ask you this: how do it is actually? I be jealous looking at people doing the cosplay myself.
I love cosplaying characters that I personally find sexy. Like I cosplay as a lot of my own crushes. I'm like Catwoman.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman has been so hot for like, ever since I saw her, I'm like, oh, drool. Jessica Rabbit, same thing, drool. Like who hasn't like had some naughty thoughts about that? Like it's so much fun to dress up as that and just try to
Mm.
exude that same kind of sexiness.
I'm sorry. I would have loved to have done a Sailor Moon scene, definitely a Marvel scene, and definitely a Star Wars,
Yeah.
definitely Apprentice and Master scene out of this piece, and I be the master, she be the naughty apprentice.
Fun. I love it.
Oh my goodness! So now webcamming is basically the strongest part of your brand. So what does porn and content play in it?
Um, like they're all kind of together. I record a lot of my streams and I also set up a lot of my
Mm-hmm.
streams to have like a certain like show section that's like that clips well and works well
Mm-hmm.
as a video. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
I record the vast majority of my streams, probably too much. Because even like in the downtime,
Me.
there's like funny bits in chat that I like just are great to
Mm-hmm.
share and funny to watch again. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all content is good to save. So I record like everything. But like I said, I also set up my streams to incorporate video elements. So I'll do live streams that are specifically set up like as the behind the scenes
Mm-hmm.
voyeur view of the porn
Mm-hmm.
scene that I'm filming. Like just this month in October, I went over to my friend Kaya Eve's house. She's also a porn star. And we filmed like some fun little vampire scene
Mm-hmm.
together. And I set up a live stream on ePlay to record us
Mm-hmm.
as we were filming the video. So this was like a less interactive live stream because it was more of a voyeur view,
Mm-hmm.
but it gave
Mm-hmm.
fans that like advanced teaser view so they could see exactly what happens
Mm-hmm.
before anybody gets the scene. And they also get that, exclusive
Mm-hmm.
sneak peek. Hmm. They get that view that nobody else
Mm-hmm.
gets. So I've
Mm-hmm.
found a way to
See,
incorporate live streaming into the scenes that I film in many different ways, I guess.
mm-hmm. Yeah, but because it seemed like the key to being a content creator is finding the different ways to make money off of the content. And with you, it's like you added a different element because your content is based off your live stream. So now the trickle down effect is when they see the live stream, cats that might have missed the live stream or just wanted a piece of the live stream has a way to get it. You feel what I'm saying? And plus,
Exactly. Yep.
you film the live stream as a live stream, but also as you would if you were shooting a scene.
Yep. Exactly. So I have a certain section where like I'm hanging out with chat, I'll have a tip menu going on, there's music in the
Mm-hmm.
background, but then once we hit a certain goal,
Mm-hmm.
or once I start a ticket
Mm-hmm.
show, once we get to a certain
Mm-hmm.
marker, I'd say that's when the music turns off. I stop interacting with chat like directly, like saying any usernames or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I like, talk to the webcam as if I'm filming a video because that's what I record and I use
Mm-hmm.
later as my video.
Mm-hmm. But see, you have shots that's not webcam shots that I've seen on your shit with it. So do you have a cameraman at the same time filming you guys as that webcam going?
Usually, no. Usually, I have my own little self setup. If it's like more of a
Mm.
professional setup or like a content collaboration, like a scene with somebody, then I'll have a
Mm.
cameraman. But usually, it's just a self setup with a
Okay.
tripod and multiple cameras.
So now I'm gonna ask you this. For you, um, what is the most important thing? Because a lot of females they jump to do webcam. Cause I remember it was before the OnlyFans, it was a saturation of webcamming
Hmm.
trade or what have you. Um, you are a female that figured out a way to increase money with your webcamming and make money outside of the webcamming through the webcamming. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. So people can understand this. When it comes to webcamming, money-wise, it's not like OnlyFans. The webcam people get majority cut majority of the time. That's facts. That has been from the beginning of time of webcamming. So with you,
There are
how
caveats to
much did
that.
okay, go ahead. I mean, but you done broke through caveats because you became a mainstay on ePlay, which we're gonna get to in a second. But what I'm saying is, period, how much should ladies pay attention to the content side of their shit just as much as they do the webcam side?
That's a different answer for everybody. I have friends who their main bread and butter is video, and they're
Mm-hmm.
not great on webcam. They're not great at chatting. They're not great at the personal aspect of it. There are people who are much better at just making videos and focusing on that, and focusing on staying consistent and scheduling and messaging
Mm-hmm.
and being more offline, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
um, and so
Mm-hmm.
you can make that your focus and do well with that full time. You can do webcamming full time and put your all into that and make all your money that way too.
Mm.
I've just done a little bit more of like a not keeping all my eggs in one basket type of deal. Just because I've had websites shift on me, and to me, it's just a smart thing to do. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's also
because no,
just comes down to
I always
maximizing my
said
content
that.
and maximizing my time. So like if I'm on a live stream it, I'm also going to record it, and then I'm going to try and use that content another way. Like, so if I can reuse my content on multiple platforms, it's just maximizing that same amount of time that I'm spending.
But see, it ain't about what you're doing, it's how you're doing it. Because like I said, because see, I always say this about webcammers and solo content creators. I hate the ones that mail it in. You have to give them a show, because if I'm only looking at you, I have to be entertained to just look at you. It's no different than podcasting. If I do a solo show, I have to be freaking entertaining as hell for me to keep their attention, and it's just me. You know what I'm saying? So and on top of that, you also make each show special. So I'm gonna ask you a question. Where did you get the influence to do that? Because not every webcammer does that. And to me, I think that what makes a webcammer very successful, when you make each of them shows that special. You feel me? That was stuff that Danny Ash did. That was something that I seen some of the top girls do, period. And I'm gonna shut up.
Mm-hmm. I think switching it up like that like keeps me from phoning it in. I reached a point where I did get burnt out. Let's see. So I started on Chatterbait, mostly doing my Perfect Harem group shows for like the first couple years, no, first 3 years, I think. I don't know. I don't remember anymore. First couple years. And then I switched over to Streamate, doing more solo private shows, just because the money was better, doing like pay per minute private shows that were direct, like with someone, giving them exactly what they asked for. I had reached a point on my freemium shows on Chatterbait, when I was doing my solo shows, I felt the need to always do something different, something better. I always felt like I had to top the last show. Like if I came 5 times yesterday, I have to come 6 times today. Like I didn't realize at the time that was just fans' excitement. And at the time, it just felt like pressure. Like I always felt like I had to do bigger, better, more. So I enjoyed the switch to just dealing with one person, one-on-one, instead of a giant group of people. So that shift was kind of necessary for me at the time. It's like I needed that like decrease of pressure from trying to entertain crowds of people, to just like, can I just make you happy? And I'm like, I am a people pleaser at my core. So when I can get that one-on-one affirmation of like, oh my God, you made my day, I just came so hard, that was phenomenal, I'm like, oh, thank God I did a good job today. Like I really do feel good about that. And doing private shows also like opened up my sexual mind, because I got requests for things that I had never heard of before or never thought about before. Things that I wasn't necessarily into, but I wasn't not into. And I was like, yeah, sure. Okay. So that's been a lot of fun, just expanding my like sexual spectrum through people's requests. And now I feel like I'm going on a tangent. Okay, I'll bring
we
it back.
love tangents on this show, trust and believe.
I'll bring it back. That brings up my ADHD, and that's where that comes in. I have been recently diagnosed with adult ADHD. Didn't have it as a kid. Totally have it as an adult. And I think that feeds into part of like me wanting to make all my shows a little bit different, or wanting to play into a certain mood from day to day. Like if I'm grumpy and feeling bitchy, I either don't work, or I embrace that and I show up as a cunty character. So I've found a way to like make it work. Like if I'm feeling in a certain way, I just make it work.
Oh yeah. So now the question I gotta ask is, have you thought about going into the porn side of things, like to a full sense, such as possibly working with major companies, shooting with major talent, and so forth?
I've done some content collabs with some like porn stars, friends with porn stars. Um, I've shot with a couple studios, but the big hurdle for me is my husband's the only guy that I want to fuck, and I know that that's a tough sell for any agent. I just know that like studio porn, they're looking for the wow factor. They're looking to push the boundaries. Like, I prefer to keep my content in my comfort zone because I know that like what I'm looking like the kind of content I want to create is not necessarily the most sellable thing in the pro porn world. Let's just be honest. Like, they want the girls that are just
But
like
but
they
is it
want like
about but
the
is it
biggest
about being
dicks that
sellable
like
in the pro porn world, or is it about making money? You get what I'm coming
like,
from? So
I
because the
would
way I look at it
absolutely
is,
shoot with
you're in a
companies
position that you don't need it.
just because I've had to. Like, I feel like if I wanted to shoot with pro companies, I feel like I would need to be a little bit more sexually open, or open to certain things, or I would have to find a very specific agent that would push exactly what I'm into, which from talking to other people, that would be a tough sell. I could shoot with studios if I sent messages on a regular basis and told them I'm into certain things. But because I only really want to shoot with other women, and I don't want to do like anal, I don't want to do, anything crazy. I
Okay,
know
I get
that
you saying.
it's just a tough sell for porn. That's it.
Yeah. So basically, the only male time you work with is your husband, and then you just invite other females to collaborate. That was your collab come with, is with other females.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I mean, if it makes money, it makes sense. I ain't got no issue with it.
Right.
Period. It's just, and two, he has porn adequate dick, so it ain't like you fucking somebody that ain't porn adequate. You feel me?
You'd actually be surprised.
So
I've
now
I've met other cam couples where the guy is not porn adequate, but that's what guys like about him, is that he's not fit, he doesn't have a big dick, and so to them, he's like, "Oh, you're just like me." So you'd be surprised. You don't have to have a massive dick to be like porn successful.
Oh no. See, you got to think it's a couple. So it's a difference between he's not the biggest dick and he's doing a porn scene with a girl that he never worked with nor fuck, versus I'm doing this with my wife or my girlfriend and I know every button and how to push it. It's a difference. So what he lack in dick size, he's going to make up in the energy and the intensity of the sex because y'all together. So it makes up for the lack of dick size.
Oh, that chemistry has always been at the core of all my content. Like, I don't shoot with people like I haven't at least had a conversation with beforehand. Like, I don't ever show up to a content collab with somebody I don't know in some capacity. Like, I got to be able to judge the chemistry, that there's genuine interest. I don't I don't personally like doing content with girls that are like not actually into girls, because it just doesn't make for as good of content. Like, I want people that legitimately want to be there and legitimately want to have a good time, please their partner. So chemistry is very important.
Yeah, because to me, I think your brand and the way that you move, it kind of lend you to shoot mainstream porn or shoot with the studios anyway, because it's more along the lines of, I brought up Danny Ash. Danny Ash she was the first one to do webcam shows, but she had girls that come on there. Sometimes she was in front of the camera with them, sometimes she wasn't. You get what I'm saying? It was so good that Playboy paid her $3 million for it. You feel me? So you're doing it, like I said, the old school way of doing webcam. You're actually doing webcam shows. You feel where I'm coming from? So it's kind of like you don't. It's to me, you not just making a lane in webcamming. You taking the old school way of making an old school way and bringing it modern.
You keep saying old school. You're making me feel old.
No, because the thing about it, because when I think about the girls that was webcamming back then, they did that. They used to have scheduled shows. They just didn't come on the webcam and sit for 12 hours. They promoted, this is the time I'm coming on. I'm here from this time to this time. I'm doing this day. I'm going to have this girl this day. They built anticipation for the webcam show, and then they did it. You feel what I'm saying? You doing that same technique. You feel me? So you are one that now are mentoring those. Who mentored you on the webcamming?
Oh, nobody mentored me. Before I started camming, I took about 2 weeks to watch a lot of streams and do my own research. So that's probably where I get some of the old school technique from, is because I was watching and doing research 10 years ago on what people were doing. And I would watch the top streams, but I would also watch the bottom streams. And that's something a lot of people, I think, miss. Is like, okay, not just what are the top girls doing, because a lot of the top girls don't have to do much anymore because they're top girls. Like there were girls that were just sitting on stream making money doing nothing because they've been on for years and they have regulars. I'm like, you can't start out doing that. So you have to look at the top. You have to look at like the top 3 tiers, honestly. You have to like, look at like the front page, the second page, the third page. And then you got to go back and look at the back pages and see what people are doing wrong. And that's the people that are sitting on their phones, that have the low quality cam, the mic, like you'll see exactly what not to do. So I didn't have anybody mentor me, but I just
There's something to learn.
I watched what other people did before I started. And then throughout the years, I went to, I made friends in the industry. I made cam friends. I made cam friends like from social media, but also by going to events like Exotica and XBiz and AVN, meeting other people face to face in this industry and making other friends. You just end up having conversations with them about like, so how do you do things? How do you do things? And I've picked up little tidbits from all these different people that I've made friends with over the years. And those little tidbits here and there have developed my knowledge at this point of what works.
Oh yeah, and it works very well because, like I said, 7-time award winning is nothing to be to snide about. You feel me? So now you have moved to mentoring. So when it comes to mentoring, you know what I'm saying? How is it? What do you notice the thing that girls do the most wrong when it comes to webcam, especially coming in?
Do the most wrong? I think nowadays there's a lot of girls that come in with the wrong attitude and they are just they're not treating the customer nicely. Like basic customer support and respect has gone out the window for a lot of people. I think a lot of that has come in just because of the rise of like femdom and findom specifically, like becoming more popular.
Yeah.
There's a lot of girls coming in that think like being a brat or a cunt will automatically have guys worshiping you, and they're missing a part of that where like you have to develop a relationship first. You have to make someone fall in love with something before you can like talk to them like that. So like someone will jump in their DMs and they'll immediately like be catty and mean, and I'm like, what are you doing? So I think that's like the biggest mistake.
Problem with it is that I think what the problem is that these, how can I put this? These females, they don't understand that those type of guys, that's a small section of the male population that watch porn.
Mhm.
They want a feminine, sexy, witty, funny, beautiful, redhead with nice, cleavage and titties, you know, to talk to look at. You know what I'm saying? Because really, when it comes to webcamming, it's more about your personality than anything else. Anything else.
Yeah. I think definitely with that personal touch and with the salesmanship aspect for sure. Like I still have plenty of people that like me to be a bitch to them. Like, don't get me wrong, I get plenty of requests for like femdom content or like, make fun of me, humiliate me. And I'm like, okay, as long as I know that you're consenting and you want that, I'm down. So like I still get those guys, but I don't automatically treat everybody that comes at me like they're a piece of garbage. And I'm blown away by how many people. I think it's a lot of new girls that come in these days, or not necessarily girls, a lot of new people, a lot of new models that come in these days that have a little bit of like an entitlist mentality. Um, and yeah, like there's customer service involved in this. There's a sales aspect of this, and people buy from people that they like. At least that's in my experience.
Yeah. So, how honored were you to be asked by ePlay to be a mentor?
I'm very flattered. How honored? Yeah, I'm honored. I've been with ePlay since they started, actually. I think about 5 years ago. Um, they pulled me from Stream8, presented me with the opportunity to help launch the new site and kind of help them like troubleshoot. So they signed me on as like a Key Club member to help live stream on a full-time basis and provide feedback on things that needed to be tweaked whenever there were bugs, if I had suggestions on elements that I thought they should add. So I worked with the ePlay team for years already. Already had a close relationship with them. So it felt like a natural progression for sure. But having that sort of like official title, being able to assist other people do well and move into more of an executive role, I think it's fantastic. It's a lot of fun for me. It's a fun new adventure. I'm enjoying it.
I'm just sitting here, all right, because for some of y'all people that are listening, they may not understood exactly what she said. Let me put it in podcast terms. That's the equivalent of Spotify offering me a deal and equity and getting paid consultant money to consult them on podcasting. It that shows you how well you do what you do and how your brand and your business technique works.
You didn't tell me you were going to be flattering
It
me this much
works.
today. I'm not used to like I'm not used to talking about myself this much,
No,
believe it or
because
not.
no, because this is what I talk about on the show. Period. Building your brand to the point that you attract opportunities that ain't got shit to do with you fucking anybody on camera or you on camera. Because think about it, this is a whole site. A whole site is asking her opinion on how the motherfucker function. They just ain't gonna just pick
Comes
anybody to do
from
that shit.
showing up and doing it
No.
well. That's it. Whatever you do, be a good one. Wasn't that Abraham Lincoln? Whatever you do, be a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, be
If I'm
good at
wrong,
it. God dang it.
comment the correct.
So now with that being said, when it comes to then, because you only do your husband, is testing involved so people can understand this when you're working with these girls?
Yes. Yep, we still get tested. Testing is still involved. Testing is still needed when it's just girls. Because we're going down on each other, oral, and I'm also working with content creators who do work with other people. Like right now, my like kind of like
Yeah.
regular content creator girlfriend is Lilith Ray Fox. And I stream with her like on a weekly basis, but she also does pro shoots and she does content collaborations with other people. So we're both getting tested on a regular basis. So that's always involved to make sure everything's safe and clean. And I live in Las Vegas. Sorry, not clean. That's the wrong word. Everything is safe and everyone is testing negatively. So yeah,
Yes.
I live in Las Vegas. There are a lot of porn people here, so testing is a regular, understood like thing.
Yeah.
That's like expected and normal. When I was living back in like the Washington D.C. area, this was I moved out to Vegas 5 years ago. So for the first like 5 years, when we were doing the My Perfect Harem group shows, we were like not in like the porn industry. This was more just like amateur territory. And so testing was a little different, but was still important to us. So thankfully we found a free testing clinic by us that did a full panel test, and we had everybody that came with us on a regular basis go and get tested and get that done like every 30 days or so. It did depend like on, we had like, I don't need to go into the nitty gritty. But yes, testing has always been important.
Yeah. It changed
We've always
over
found
the
a way
years
to make sure that it's safe, right? So it's gotten a little more official moving out to Vegas, but it was always part of the process to make sure that we were staying safe.
Now, the other thing I want to bring up is you keep hearing her mention My Perfect Harem. Now, she has branded a webcam show / studio or what have you, period, and everything. And for you, how much once y'all came up with the thought process, how much did y'all go into the branding of it? Because I always feel that anybody that's doing this business seriously, you have a signature to what you do. It's a point. Even no matter how different the scenes is, they all are connected in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So for you, how much is the My Perfect Harem a part of the brand?
It used to be the entire brand. When I first started camming, it started as My Perfect Harem. And like, I was just a part of My Perfect Harem. I didn't really become my own separate brand until a few years in. Just kind of like natural progression, like guys are always more willing to follow.
Go ahead.
Like guys are always going to follow a girl more than they're going to follow like a guy's account. So just even on social media, like I would have my Twitter account and we'd have the My Perfect Harem group account. But because it was like presented as like a guy's account, I got way more follows than the group account did. So that was the thing that like we didn't foresee happening and just kind of happened. And then when I transitioned into doing more private shows, that was also more one-on-one. So the branding was always My Perfect Harem in the beginning. And I've just kind of kept all of my solo stuff underneath that umbrella moving forward. So now it's just kind of evolved. It's kind of like like my My Perfect Harem.
No, because when I first looked at it, that what it felt like. It was just he was your husband or whoever the male talent was at the time, because I didn't know that was your hub. He was just a part of harem. You feel what I'm saying? And it's your fantasies coming to life. And it's no surprise that people don't realize the woman is always the star. So even in a porn couple or what have you, no one is there to see us. They're there to see her.
We tried to build it around like the guy's fantasy, doing like POV style videos and like, having the viewer be the guy of the harem. But it just, like the way that social media worked, it just didn't organically flow that way. So yeah,
Yeah, because they
our
want
exact
you.
branding
They
has
want to
evolved.
say
So we still have a lot of people that are
that's what they
fans of
wanted to see.
Sir and miss him on streams a
Yeah.
lot, but he does a little bit more of like the behind the
Oh
scenes
yeah. No,
POV custom
because
videos, that kind of stuff with me now.
yeah. No, it's the business formula that I always said that worked when it comes to this business. You have a resident male talent that you work with, mainly because you know where his dick been and where it's going. And then you work with other established talent. That doesn't necessarily mean another dude. You feel me? So that you giving the fans you with different people, but the key is you giving them you know, period, because you are the product. You
Yeah,
know, that's how
absolutely.
I look at it.
Yeah, with content creators, yeah, we are the product.
So, oh my,
Absolutely.
oh my goodness. So shoot, people, I done held this gorgeous lady up here for an hour, and we ain't even touched the surface. Trust me, we ain't touched the surface. So you know that means I got to ask her gorgeous sexy ass the $1,000,000 question. Miss Chrissy LeBlanc, can I call you a smoke buddy?
Yeah, absolutely.
See, there you go, people. She'll be back here on the Smokers Lounge. I'm gonna bring her that red hair, them beautiful eyes, and them nice, gorgeous boobies to the premium smoke room only on loyal fans. I'm talking about 5 premium podcasts for you to enjoy, plus special events that I drop here and there called the VIP smoke room. And the conversation gets more saucier, it gets more candid, it gets more provocative, it gets more unpredictable, it gets more wilder. Tits might pop out, dildos might pop out. You don't know unless you subscribe. And if you're looking for some triple X, I got you covered there. Go over to the video store where you can see my work as I give ladies the work, because big dicks grow in the sticks. That's why they used to call me Big Country. And for my Spotify users, I got you good over there too. You can subscribe over there and check out Savage Smoke, where I talk to the industry's top male talents and producers about the industry. We give you that smoke from a male perspective, plus an array of over 400 episodes ranging from limited podcast series I did in the past, premium smoke podcast episodes that's not on loyal fans, and special stuff just for you Spotify users. So, 2 ways to subscribe: become a premium smoker, or catch a savage smoke, or catch both. Either way, subscribe. And speak about subscribing, Miss Chrissy LeBlanc, tell everybody where they can spend money on you and find you and stream you and look at you all day long.
You can find everything that's important at allmylinks.com/Chrissy LeBlanc. My main campsite is eplay.com/myperfectharem. That's where you'll find all the main stuff. I keep
See,
it nice
there
and
you go,
succinct.
people. So, you
Everything's
know,
right there.
see, there you go, people. So, what did we smoke over today? What did you learn? Well, I told you there's many ways to make money in the quote unquote sex work business, porn business, whatever you want to call it. And I also told you that the future of this business is going to be .coms and streaming. So I just gave you the streaming side of it. See, whether it's porn, whether it's streaming, whether it's webcamming, once again, it comes back to you have to treat it as a business. You have to treat it more professional. You have to polish it up. The key to making money with this business is building a package that people will invest in emotionally. And if they invest in it emotionally, they will definitely invest in it financially. Webcamming is way harder than porn because you have to entertain these motherfuckers in real time. It takes personality, it takes savvy, it takes wit, and it sometimes does take tits. You know, hey, it is what it is. But the point being is you have to be able to understand and adjust to the game, understand what works in the game, and be willing to advance and evolve in the game in order to continuously make money for a long-term basis. Because I'm telling you this now. People can sit here and brag about year one. Don't talk to me about year one. Holler at me at year 5. If your money has increased in 5 years, you're doing something wrong and you need to reevaluate your business plan.
True.
Period. And
I gotta stick
like
up
you
for my
said,
porn girls though.
you must learn from not only.
I was gonna say I gotta stick up for my porn girls. Porn is hard in its own way. I'm like, there's porn I couldn't do, so I won't say that my job is
don't get it
harder.
twisted. Oh no. Oh my God, cause them positions and holding that shit and all that. Trust me, I was male time 15 years.
I'm like, I appreciate the
Cramps,
compliment, but I will
soreness
stick up for my
was a
porn
part of
girls.
the job, people.
Sorry, my porn performers, guys too. Guys have a very
But the
difficult
main,
job. So
oh yes, Lord, yes, Lord. But the main thing I want y'all to understand and learn in this business is that if you do your bid, if you're good at what the fuck you do, and you present yourself as a professional in a professional manner, in a professional way, you'd be surprised at opportunities that would land in your fucking lap. That means money as well as power, as well as influence, as well as sway. See? So, with that being said, you know how we end these things all day, every day. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience if you haven't learned anything? Smoke this over. Miss LeBlanc, say goodbye to the smokers.
goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Smoke one for me and give me a follow. I look forward to hearing from you.
We out.